Welcome to the KO Boxing Show. Haven't we got a massive show tonight? None other than Roy Jones Jr., 66 wins, 4-division world champion, and pound-for-pound king. Not only Roy Jones, but also Sharon Anyos, the wild thing, the WBC featherweight world champion, first time ever female. Welcome to the KO Boxing Show, guys.
Thank you, Peter. How are you?
Great to have you on the show, mate, as we say here in Australia. And Sharon, great to have you on the show.
Yeah, thanks, Peter. Excited to be here.
No, great to have you on. Let's start with you, Roy. Obviously, Sharon and you are great mates, and you've been talking about doing a tour down under in Australia, like a black tie dinner, obviously after COVID's over. How will this work, and what dates have we got in mind? Obviously, it'll be harder with COVID.
Well, Sharon's the boss, so whatever Sharon says is how to work. I kind of just go by and follow her lead. She leads outside the ring, I lead inside the ring. So whatever she says we're going to do, I roll with it.
Spoken like a gentleman. Sharon, great to have you on the show. You were the first female WBC World Featherweight Champion, and you are the pioneer along with Christy Martin and other females. It's great to see now females taking off in boxing, but when you were doing it, it was so much tougher. You were breaking through the guidelines.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I have to say the talent that is coming through now is just incredible to see. Women, you know, I got my name Wild Thing by my dad because he said, you don't fight like a girl and you don't look like a man. You're some kind of wild thing. And to see so many women now that just fight like men, but look, they're beautiful to look at and they hold themselves well. I was even watching a young girl, I think she was like 7 or 8. This girl can... I'm glad my era is over. It was incredible.
Yeah. Did you ever see Sharon box, Roy?
Yeah. Yes, Sharon was really a go-getter. Sharon get at you, you got problems. And it's just like, and I was trying to teach her even more skill to add to her game right before she retired, because I was gonna make her come back and be a monster again, but in a different way. But we never got a chance to get to it.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. And
so, Peter, just to let you all know, Roy and I met because I went back over to the US after I'd had my 4 boys, and was full of promises to get back in the ring again. Had somebody that was going to set up fights and sponsorship. I just had to get to Vegas, and I got there, and it kind of wasn't anywhere near what it was meant to be. It wasn't anything at all, and I just kind of. I looked up and said, who do I need to speak to? And it was Roy Jones. And I just hunted down me at St. John and said, please tell me you know Roy. And I think I was the first woman to walk into Roy's gym and be trained by Roy over in the US. And, you know, we had plans for me to come back and come back into the ring, but it just didn't work out. And then now we're back together again on an even greater mission. It's awesome.
Whole new level. Never know what God has in store.
Thank you, Sharon, for that. And it was awesome. Your career was such a fabulous career because it was such, as we mentioned before, female boxing back then. It was a lot harder to get on cards. It was a lot harder to get exposure. So what you did was the benefits and the fruits that the females are reaping now. You did the hard yards back then, and you did it with so much class. And obviously, you know, winning a WBC world title, it doesn't get better than that. Roy, let's get on to you. You've got a massive assignment yourself. You've got the House of Terror coming at you in September. And how did all this come about?
Man, it just was a blessing in disguise. I'm just so glad and so delighted that they chose me as the opponent that he wanted to face. I wanted to face him back when I won the heavyweight title in 2003, but it never happened. But he was the only guy that I would have stayed heavyweight to fight. So when they came and they called me this time, I was like, man, it's a crazy time, but people are strict in the house now. They can't really go far, so people want entertainment because we don't have a lot of sports going on. So this is a perfect time for it. And the fact that they was like, you know, we don't want people to bring boxing promoters, boxing managers, boxing lawyers. We want to do it outside of the box arena, but make it box. I said, hey, found me, let's do it. So that's how it happened.
Size-wise, I mean, you and Mike, height, reach, probably not that much in it. Obviously, he's a thicker set guy and obviously always been a natural heavyweight. But you defeated John Ruiz to become the WBA World Heavyweight Champion. And you've also got wins over James Toney, who went up to heavyweight and stopped Evander Holyfield. So your form levels, you can hang. You've only fought 2 years ago. You're pretty active as well. Mike hasn't fought for a long time. Let's just go into a scenario. It's an exhibition bout, but it's over 8 rounds. Obviously, it won't be with the crowd because of COVID, but it'll be beamed all around the world. Mike's going to come out like a house of fire as he does, because he's only got one kind of gear, and that's straight to the boards 100%. And you know that he's going to come at you really hard. So in your mind, what are you thinking? Are you going to try and move away those early rounds and try and get him as he gasses later, like sometimes he does in his fights?
You got to try to box him at first and stay away to let him get past that onslaught, the early onslaught. He's going to be most dangerous the first round, the first 2 rounds, maybe even the first 3 rounds. After that, you should be able to take over because I've still been active. He's not been active. So the long term is going to hurt. The longer the fight goes, I think, the better it is for me, the worse it is for him. So I'll just go out, box early, see can I keep my distance. If I can keep my distance, it'll be safer for me. Then at the end of the day, though, I would at some point have to engage and try to put the pressure on him.
So it'll be like a hurricane early and then get through the hurricane and then start sailing through clear waters back to safety.
And once you get past that early storm, you got a chance now.
Sharon, will you be in Roy's corner? Because you're a team now. You've got to be there. Or can we get you to America? Or I think with travel restrictions, it's going to be very hard, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I will have to say that if there's a way for me to be there, I definitely will be, along with Sally Ann. We'll definitely be there 100%. Failing that, we'll have the biggest cheer squad at one of the biggest hotels here on the Gold Coast, screaming with everything we've got. It's very, very exciting. It's very exciting when you get to spend time with someone like Roy, who his passion and his life is boxing, and if someone's got a knock on his door and he's in the gym training with him, like there's no, I'm tired, I can't be bothered, or I've got something else on. He's just committed to impacting more lives and being able to work with more people. And it's just so incredible to see. So, to have at the age of 51, it's such a beautiful age to be stepping back in the ring against probably the biggest terror boxing's known over the last 20 odd years. It's going to be just a really exciting time.
Roy, your dad fought Marvin Hagler and he was a war veteran as well. How's Roy Jones Sr.? I mean, he's been a massive part of your boxing career, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been a massive part of my career. He's doing good. Just that, times change and you go through different things, and it is what it is. So he had to fight with Hagler. It was pretty good. I guess I didn't ever get to see it, but it was. I guess it was competitive until he got cut, and that was pretty much it for him. But he did pass on the skills, passed me a lot of things down that I used to take myself to the top of the boxing world. So I'm always grateful to him for that.
Roy, you've got a cool story. You're friends with Vladimir Putin, who's the richest man in the world. He's given you a Russian citizenship. How did that friendship come about? How did you get to meet Vladimir?
Because of my boxing career, so many people knew me. So many people know me from the Olympics when I got robbed of the gold medal. And I think 95% of the population in Russia knew me. So I was there doing business, and they was like, you should try to become a citizen because we love you so much. We'd like you to be a Russian citizen. I was like, wow, that's a good idea. If I can be a dual citizen, they said, yes. So you should ask. And so I went there and I asked. They was like, yes, we're going to get you in touch with Mr. Putin and ask him. I asked him, he said, you know what? That'd be a great idea. Why not? I did it, and I've been loving it ever since.
You also do acting, and you're a rapper as well. Are you still involved in the music industry?
Oh, yes, most definitely. Gonna always do that. So I can't wait. Got Body Head Bang Volume 2 coming out maybe right at the start of this fight. My first song will be out actually probably a couple weeks before the fight. But I got Body Head Bang Volume 2 that I will be putting out probably shortly after the fight, and I can't wait.
What can we expect as far as crowds go, Roy? Because will there be crowds allowed at your fight? Are they capping it at all, or will it be an empty stadium?
It's pretty much empty stadium with pay-per-view. You buy a pay-per-view, but I think the stadium will be empty. So
how's that going to be hard for you to get motivated to fight, or when you've got a raging train coming at you, there's not much you can do?
Really, listen, if you can't get motivated for that, for Mike Tyson, and you can't get motivated. I don't care who you are, how old you are, what you're doing. If you know you're going in the ring and sharing the ring with Mike Tyson, and that don't motivate you, something wrong with you.
All right, now go and play basketball, Roy.
Absolutely.
What do you think, Sharon? The NBA starting as well. We know Roy's a massive fan. I'm a Milwaukee Bucks fan.
You got to remember these guys are going to war. It may be labelled an exhibition bout, but you said straight off, Peter, that Mike's going to come out like a hurricane. He's going to do what he can to take Roy out nice and early. And there's going to be cameras, and they know that the rest of the world is watching. And I can guarantee you, Roy does work inside his gym because he does God's work. It's not about whether someone's watching or what's going on, but if he's got a job to do, he just goes and does it. And it's just powerful.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome, Sharon. Roy, I know you'll be hearing Sharon's voice all the way from the Gold Coast, even though you'll be in Los Angeles facing Mike Tyson. She will be in your corner.
Better believe it.
Roy, the basketball season's going to start. Just a quick one. Who's your tip to win the big one?
It's going to be a tough season this year. I do like the Lakers. I do like the Clippers, and I do like the Milwaukee Bucks. My pick, however, will probably be the Clippers, but I do like the Milwaukee Bucks too.
Giannis has got to win the MVP, doesn't he? The Greek freak.
I think he will. If he continues to play like he played last year, I think he will. However, though, Kawhi Leonard been playing really good basketball, and a couple other guys have been playing. The Joker been playing really good. The guy from Dallas been playing really good. You know who's the surprise this year? Who I knew was going to be a surprise last year, though? When he got an opportunity? Bo. It's really been, and I told people last year when Denver got him, I said they got the best pick of the draft. People don't know that yet. They got the best pick of the draft. They got Bo. Denver's going to be a problem if Bo gets in the mix and learns the game and gets comfortable. Denver's going to be a big problem this year.
Yeah, you know your basketball. Roy, just before we sign off, you fought Glenn Kelly and you did that chicken wing type of punch off the ropes. We keep seeing that. What made you do that? What was going through your mind to do that type of punch?
First of all, it was no disrespect to Glenn Kelly at all. It's just that when I was fighting, I realized that I had counterpunched him so much that he wasn't really throwing the punches that I wanted him to throw because he knew I was countering. So he was like waiting on me to throw first so that he could try to counter because he knew every time he stuck a punch out, I countered. So I said, you know what, let me try this. Let me put my hand behind my back like the chicken do, and then like I got wings and see if he'll punch in. When I did it, he did punch, and I was able to get a counter punch off.
Oh, awesome. Roy, out of the current fighters at the moment, who impresses you the most? Who do you think is going to be the next people to take over from Mayweather and Pacquiao and Canelo Alvarez as the next future pay-per-view guys?
Hard to say because pay-per-view is very difficult, but the winner of this Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez fight, if Lopez can win that fight, he'll become an immediate pay-per-view star, I think, because I think he's the next best thing in boxing, but he does have a hard task on his hand because right now, Lomachenko is my number 2 or 3 for the top pound for pound. It'd be between him, Crawford, and Canelo. So either one of them 3 you can put at the top of the list. And I think he's been one of the best skill-wise, best for me for a long time now. So if Teofimo Lopez can pull that upset, I think he'll be the next guy on the market to be pound for pound or to be the big pay-per-view star because he has all the attributes, explosiveness, and everything else. However, there's a little kid named Devin Haney who's on his way up who's also going to be a problem because Devin Haney is a really good fighter, has a lot of good attributes about him, speed, power, finesse. So we're going to see,
Oh, thanks for the input, Roy. Sharon, before we sign you and Roy off, is there anything you'd like to say to the Australian viewers?
Yeah, well, there's 2 things. Maybe when Roy talks about chicken wings, it's always a good idea to ask a little bit deeper because he's got a certain favourite animal, by the way. And I just wanted to share that, one, I'm excited to be able to bring Roy into Australia whenever they open things up and his schedule's clear enough. And I just want to also let all the Australian, up and coming, the amateur fighters, professional fighters, there's going to be a way we're going to be able to get Roy in front of all of you. There's shows on. This man is incredible with his heart, with his soul, with his time. So we want to make sure that we can maximise the time that we have him here. And, when we do get to lock those dates down, Peter, we'll get back in touch and let you know. And I think from, Roy and I got in the gym and we actually thought it was going to be about me getting back in the ring. And since then, we've kind of come together since, late last year. I think it was late last year we started connecting in regards to just sharing more information, around chemical toxicity. We're now in business together, just sharing statistics around what's going on with, chemical toxicity, what we're spraying on our bodies, what we're putting in our mouths, what we're drinking, what we're breathing in through our air, things like, we talk about, male sperm count over the last, I think it's about 12 years has, decreased by 59%. Now that's massive. Cancer and rates and everything in girls and women has gone through the roof. And, there's no, and I'm not a medical professional yet. I am studying for my doctorate and PhD in natural medicine, but there's no, I guess, coincidence that with what's going on with chemical toxicity and what's going on around the world with the things like I just mentioned, food we eat, air we breathe, water we drink, that, kids are being born, with severe difficulties going on with their health. So, I think we're excited because when Roy comes down, we're going to be sharing a tour on more about wellness. And, if anybody wants to kind of connect in and learn more or ask more, we're here about educating people and letting people know the information we know, so they can make better choices.
Well said, Sharon. Roy, is there anything you'd like to say before we sign you off?
I want to say thank you to everybody for tuning in. I hope you all tune in to this Mike Tyson fight. It's going to be a great night. Two of the most exciting people to ever touch the boxing ring in the last 4 decades. So I can't see it not being one of the best nights ever. And I'm looking forward to it. So thank you all for your support. And I can't wait to get back down under.
Thank you, Roy, four division world champion, and Sharon Anyos, the first ever WBC featherweight world champion. 2 legends. Thank you for your time, guys. God bless, and looking forward to seeing you and Mike in a ring very soon.
Thank you, my brother.
God bless, Peter.
All right, goodbye, Sharon. Thank you.
Goodbye, Roy.